What is going on, everybody? It is time for the TNA review. I know we're missing a person tonight, but Justin, I guess today, I don't know, whenever we're watching it, we're missing somebody, and Justin was busy right now, so maybe he'll come in, maybe he won't. Hopefully we can get his thoughts maybe next week on, what went down this week or something. We'll figure it out. But I sound kind of weird. I am a little sick. Been sick for the past couple of days. And but I was excited about TNA because I don't know. I was excited following lockdown. The lockdown was pretty good, so the excitement was there, and I got to watch it live for once in my life, so that was fun. So we started out with Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode, and I didn't get to take notes on this because I kind of started watching a little bit late. I didn't really start watching a little bit late, but I didn't start taking notes until a little bit later. So if you could go over the Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode match and the EY attack at the end. That's all I really didn't write down. I know the match was really good, and it was a great way to start the show. But that was like the only thing I didn't get to take notes on.
First of all, sir, you're missing the entire whole beginning of said show.
Am I really? I don't know where I started watching. I started watching. I watched the EY Rude match, and then I started back watching again at the Al Snow part. But I think I still watched it all. I just didn't take any notes on it for some reason.
Well, they had an opening video package just the past few weeks between Team Angle and Team BDC, and the BDC up to last week's lockdown and what happened at lockdown. Next, a minivan pulls up, which I was confused. I was like, oh, okay. Minivan pulls up outside the arena, and out comes the BDC and EY. So I was confused. I was like, can they not afford a limo?
Since MVP started coming to TNA, he always been repping that minivan. I think it's going to be a thing in wrestling. They're just going to go with the minivan instead of the limo from now on.
They basically say the last week is in their minds never happened. They're gonna go in and deal with Team Angle tonight, and then Angle does come out and to the ring, and basically it was one of those typical after pay-per-view promos, like we won, blah blah blah. I really didn't take notes on it. It was, we've seen it 100 times. So, and then we did have Rude versus Austin Aries. I didn't write too much about this because it was a great match. The only thing I don't like is this. It seems like we get this match a lot. This is one of the matches that we get a lot. We get a lot of Rude versus Aries. There's certain guys in TNA we see in matches together a lot, and it's it's not that they have bad matches. It's just TNA needs to build up their roster so we can see different matches. There's only so many times we can see Rude Aries. There's only so many times we can see Rude Lashley. There's till it gets boring. I was surprised though that we got a tap out. It seems like you don't really see tap outs anymore in pro wrestling, any company, period. So that was cool. And then the attack at the end was actually a really vicious attack. We don't see intense attacks like that as much. So I'm excited to see the. Okay.
I was letting you keep going. I was going to say something, but I didn't want to interrupt too much.
I'm excited to see the build-up of the feud between Rude and EY. Because I feel like that'll be a good feud. We're still in the beginning of it. I feel like they can do a lot more with it. But what was the
I was just trying to say it didn't feel like it was as BDC heavy. tonight. I don't know if you felt that way, but I know personally I didn't feel like every single match was ended because of BDC. And I love how this match actually came to a finish. I didn't know when I was going to get to talk either because since I started taking notes, so far down the road, I wasn't sure when I was going to get my input in. So I just wanted to say something before I forgot. Yeah, I didn't. It didn't feel BDC heavy, and yeah, that attack was epic though. It was. I love the pile driver on the stage. I like how they trust EY to use a pile driver wherever. He's just gonna like jump off the balcony through a table, ECW style next time.
Yeah. Did you want to take over now at the? Because you were in at, I guess you got in at the El Snow part, or?
Oh yeah, I did. Sure. Does my voice sound well enough to keep going, or?
Oh, it sounds good. It sounds good. I like it.
All right. Well, I don't want to be this way for a long time, so this show only. That's it. That's it. I'm not getting sick anymore ever. So we got the Al Snow promo, which I really liked actually. Introduced us to who I think is going to be another new talent, and I'm really excited about it. I'm so excited because because this is a guy I don't think I've ever heard of. I've never heard of him. I know I haven't ever heard of him. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Maybe he came from somewhere else, or maybe he's just like a British Scottish darling or something. Have you ever heard of this guy, Grado?
Um, when I was looking up, when Drew McIntyre, aka, was gonna debut, I saw that he was gonna be in a thing with Grado, and then I looked him up. So I guess he has had prior success in like Scotland and everything. I guess he has an underground following, like they said. But I haven't really seen too much of him before this, so.
Yeah, see, and that's what made me excited because remember we said in one of our TNA, I think it was the ROH WWE TNA video, we said something about new talent we don't really know about. So I think the British boot camp thing, I'd like to even bring a couple of more because I think they have that following in England, so it would be a cool thing to kind of see. But Al Snow says, you guys know me. I've traveled all around the world. It was kind of an intense type of feel to it. And kind of heelish for Al Snow, especially considering the last time we saw him, he was really kind of head. You know, it was pretty much Al Snow. But he said, I trained some of the best and brightest in this industry. You think that you can do that too? You think you can do what I do? But you're sitting there, and I'm standing here or sitting here. I'm paraphrasing here. I didn't write down every single word. But he said, you can leave before I kick your butt out of all over this ring. He's talking about Grado at this point. He says, get out here, Grado! And then Grado comes out. Al Snow says, I don't think you have the heart or the passion, and I have no respect for you. You should just you didn't show any respect for the sport and just quit. Grado said, shut your mouth. That I don't think you realize where you are. We're in Glasgow. I think that's where they were. I couldn't really hear him at that point. But he said, you're in Glasgow. And we don't take no crap. Al Snow said, he retaliates and he says, I don't care what you take. Where's your mom? That's a good question to ask. Where's your mom? And he says, maybe you listen to your mom. So he goes out and finds his mom, and his mom is not happy with Al Snow trashing her boy. Al Snow says, I know that's your boy, but you should be ashamed. Tell your son to just walk away. And then she slaps Al a couple of times. And then as Al is retaliating, Grado's trying to, stick up for his mom, so he kind of chases Al. Al kind of runs away. Al says, you want me? You got me next week. You beat me and I'll shake your hand. So I guess they're trying to pump this Grado guy up for the Drew Galloway thing I think they're doing, I guess. I think it's going to be cool, though. I'm excited to see Grado because I haven't ever heard of him before. And he seemed like he was like a likable guy, like just the way he came out and the fans were behind him and stuff like that. It just seems like he was a likable guy. And I kind of want to get behind him now because, The crowd made me feel like this guy. Yeah, I'm excited about the Grado fellow. And he wears the Nikki Bella backwards hat, so he's gotta be the truth. But any thoughts on the Al Snow promo? I
Um,
actually thought. Sorry, one more thing. I actually thought that they were gonna try to push this match to this week for some reason.
yeah. Um, I don't like TNA's abrupt heel turns and face turns. Like, especially with Al Snow, last time we saw him, he was a face, and now he's a heel. And even with Madison Rayne tonight, last time and now she's being heelish, and I'm like, TNA, you need to give us heads up on who's a face and who's a heel. We don't even know anymore. Like, I don't understand. Al Snow, I noticed, maybe it's just the beard that he has now, but he's getting older, and like, I don't know. And I like this promo and this segment, but he not too good on the mic, you know. But I don't think he ever has been, so it's not, he was never really a mic heavy, wrestler. He was more, he was more of a comedic kind of wrestler or hardcore. He wasn't ever, serious. Yeah. But and I also thought tonight was the night that Drew was supposed to debut with Grado, but I guess maybe that's next week. I don't know. I just saw it on. It was, I guess it was recorded on the 29th, so I don't know which episode that's going to be. If that's going to be next week or. But that's what I was excited for. I was waiting. I was like, "Where's Drew at?" But it was a good debut for him. Not in-ring debut, but kind of get behind him a little bit before his first match.
Yeah, I agree. Next we got Crazy Steve, and he is back, baby. He is back. Crazy Steve comes out, and I'm like, Crazy Steve's back. And I was trying to listen to his music because I'm like, did they change his music? Is he still menagerie-like, or is he just Crazy Steve? And I was like, anyway, he's back, and I'm like, he's back. He's gonna win because he just got back, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, he's facing Bram, and Bram is not happy. So I was like, never mind, he's not gonna win. So it was nice to see Bram not in a hardcore match for once in his life. I think with the feud with Magnus, we're probably going to see a mix of both because Magnus, I don't think, is a hardcore style dude. He hasn't been like pumped up that way because this is basically what they were pushing here. So it was cool to see him not in a hardcore match. So Bram, this is in the middle of the match. Bram grabs a mic because Bram does not care. He's gonna grab all the cases. He's gonna grab all the microphones, all the chairs, all everything. He's gonna grab it and he's gonna talk. He says, "Magnus, mate, I'm waiting to fight you, mate. Come on, I'm begging you." So Magnus is, not Magnus, but Bram is hype, and the commentators noted that Magnus is not here, so he can't come out. Bram goes for a shot with the mic. He misses Crazy Steve, and Crazy Steve decides he's gonna go ahead and take advantage. But Bram comes back with a nice back elbow, and then Bram hits the lifting sit-down DDT / the Impaler for the win. And then he grabs the mic again. He says, "Fight me, Magnus! Fight me!" So Bram is ready for this feud. I don't know if Magnus is ready because he's probably still got color. His head's probably the color of the cue ball from last week. So we got to figure everything out here. But Bram's ready. I kind of hope with this feud that they let them both win because I don't really like the feud where one person dominates the entire time because it doesn't help the other person. But I feel like this will help Magnus get back to where he wants to get, but also it'll give a lot of build to Bram too.
Yeah. First of all, I don't know if anyone else noticed in this match. There's two like main camera angles, one on one side of the ring and then the other on the opposite side. One of the cameras almost seemed like it had more of a yellowish picture to it, and the camera on the opposite side seemed more white. I don't know if anyone noticed that. I was like, wait a minute. It almost felt like it was two completely different shows for a second. I didn't notice it in any other matches really, but I noticed that. I was like, I don't know if this is just they're changing cameras or what's, I don't know. But this match was just Bram just, calling out Magnus. It was just a match to make him look strong. It was a squash match for Crazy Steve, which is unfortunate, because Crazy Steve, he was supposed to be, it was either going to be him or, my boy Spud, the next world champion. I knew it. It was going to happen.
What happened to Nux?
I have no idea.
I actually like Nux.
I don't know. But yeah, it was just another squash match. Wasn't really anything impressive in it. It was just kind of he destroyed Crazy Steve. But it did build up his heel. I'm curious to see who now Magnus is going to have as his tag team partner. Although he has the case until next year. They don't usually keep them that long, but I'm just curious to see where they're going with this.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I don't know if Nux ever had a real. I was just looking it up. I think Nux is just part of the menagerie on their roster page because I wanted to see if Nux was gone. Because I know Steve's there, and we saw Rebel in the commercials, or in the in a couple of commercials, Valentine's Day and whatever. So I was just trying to figure out. I think they're all in a big group except for the Freak. He's just gone. But So after that, we're backstage with Andrews Borash or something like that. We're backstage with Spud, Mandrews, and JB. And Spud's just trying to pump them up because they're scared. Well, at least JB is scared, man. Mandrews, we don't really know about Mandrews, but JB is scared because he's not a wrestler, man. You can't be doing this. I don't even know if JB gets paid for this. You don't get paid to be in the ring. Come on. They're probably paying this man overtime or something because of this. But Spud says, we're going to be fierce. We're going to be lions. And we're going to be tigers. So Spud is channeling his inner Ray Lewis, trying to get everybody hype. So shout out to Spud there. And then after that, we get a Gunner Angle backstage segment. Really felt like there were a lot of just backstage with Angle segments. And I know this was the first one, but this may have been the second one. But like it just felt like every time we looked, oh, what's up, Angle? Felt like we were just constantly backstage chilling with Angle all the time. So we got Gunner and Angle backstage. Gunner says, you woke me up. He says, we both got the same thing in mind, talking about the World Heavyweight Championship. And he thanks him. He says, but is teaming with Lashley such a good idea? Because we got a tag team match tonight with Angle and Lashley on the same team. Angle says, he did good last week. He says, Lashley and I are going to fight one day, and I want him at his best. Thanks for stopping by. So, that was something there. I'm glad to see Gunner back and actually doing things. Hopefully he'll get back in the ring as well. So, any thoughts on the backstage segment with Spud and Mandrews and JB, or the Gunner Angle backstage segment?
Not really. Just too typical. There wasn't really anything to take away from them. Except for Spud said, "Don't worry, I have a plan." And he looks at Mandrews and he goes, "Mandrews knows what I'm talking about. He's British." And I'm like, "Oh, is it a British thing? What?" I was kind of confused. I was like, "Is there a new British wrestler? Wait, maybe." But that was. And then Angle and Gunner. I don't know. I'm excited to see Gunner back in the ring more, because I feel like we haven't before lockdown. We hadn't really seen him much. It seemed like he just came out of nowhere to be in lockdown, and I'm excited to see him more.
Yeah, I agree. So after that, we got EC3 and Tyrus. Yes, EC3 is actually in a match versus Andrews and JB. So to start out here, we got Spud. He's not backing down. He was not backing down to anybody. He was not, Spud was a leader. He was the leader of this team, the gazelle of this team. He was not backing down to anybody, not even Tyrus. Um, so Spud and EC3 start this match, so we think. Um, but EC3 playing the mind games, tags in Tyrus, and just, slips out the back door. Spud with the forearms to Tyrus, but, Tyrus is a big dude, so it's not going to happen. He gets shut down. Manders comes in, but he just gets thrown, as Tyrus is known to do. JB he comes back in the ring. JB, he is getting it. He is ready. Comes in the ring. Then EC3 comes back in because EC3 has got the advantage. He comes back in. JB though, he comes in with that blocking skill. EC3 was going after him. JB was like, and then he started hitting the knees. I was like, okay, JB, he been training in the dojo or something, He trained with Team 3D before they left. JB with the blocking skill hit some knees on EC3. But EC3, obviously, being the wrestler that he is, comes back with some strikes and knees of his own. He goes for a splash, but that's missed. And Mandrews comes back in with a missile dropkick. Tyrus comes back to dominate once again with some power. A little bit down the road here, we get Spud getting a hot tag. As Tyrus thinks he's gonna just squish Spud in the corner, but EC3 gets splashed instead. We get a corner cutter by Splash. What is it called? What do you call that move? The Spike Dudley.
The spike cutter. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's called, but Spike Dudley did it. So, and it was funny because they mentioned that Spike Dudley was Spud's favorite wrestler when he was little. So that was cool. And then JB, he's making all the extra bucks. JB goes up to the top as Tyrus is outside the ring, and he does the flailing is dive. That's not even a real word. That man, he was flailing all in midair, but he hits Tyrus a little bit at least and knocks him down. But that causes a distraction for Spud. EC3's the legal man. He is the 1%er. And there we go. EC3 and Tyrus win this match. EC3 is back in the ring, but he still has the brace on. So, and we'll talk about the post-match stuff after you talk about anything you want to talk about the match.
It was pretty much a dominant match by EC3 and Tyrus. Spud Mandrews and even Borash did have some good spots in the match, so it wasn't just a completely one-sided. Yes, the flailing dive. That's what we're gonna call it, the flailing dive. And then when he landed, he just went down like it killed him. He just laid there. I'm like, dude, really? That's
it, though. JB the greatest seller of all time.
Yes, the greatest seller of all time. It killed him. But it was a good match. I'm excited to. I'm excited to see more of Mandrews. Because I feel like he's a really good wrestler if he gets some time to really have a good match. I'm excited. And I like Spud too. So Borash, he's
not a wrestler though. But the dive. I think the dive takes precedent over everything else he did, and the blocking skill. Come on, you can't tell me that. Got the quickness. JB got the quickness, man. Come on. But we got some post-match shenanigans going on. EC3, obviously, got his cordless clippers. I mean, he getting that big paycheck from Dixie Carter, so he said, you cut the cord last time, baby. I got the cordless clippers. So he comes in there, I think with the cordless clippers. That's what they said. I'm not sure if they were cordless or not. And he's about to shave that head of Spud. The lights go out. Oh my God! It's Sting. No, it's not Sting. It's not Bray Wyatt. It's not The Undertaker. It's Mr. Anderson, which was surprising to me. I was like, oh man, okay. All right, Mr. Anderson, you're back. Um, and Mr. Anderson is just must-see TV if you want to watch something funny. Because he's just sitting there in the ring ready to figure out who it is, looking at Spud and EC3. The funny part was, so Spud and EC3, like, they're like looking, I mean, not Spud, but Tyrus and EC3. I don't know how I got Tyrus and Spud mixed up. Yeah, Tyrus and EC3. You know, they're looking at him like, you know, yeah, we're ready. And then they're like, wait a minute. so that was a good thing there. He gets Tyrus with a low blow, and he starts hitting those chops on EC3, but EC3 goes ahead and escapes out of the ring, and that was the end of that. I just thought it was funny that Mr. Anderson is just. I think the sarcasm that he shows constantly is like so funny.
Yeah, I think that was the best part of the match. The end, the return of Anderson. But that sell on the low blow by Tyrus. Did you see his face? He went down. But and again, I don't know if you noticed this. They had a video package previewing next week's show. They ruined this debut because they have Anderson in that package.
I don't know what happened there because so I don't know if I just like put Anderson in the back of my mind and thought he was gonna be some random guy to come in next week, but like I didn't even notice Anderson was in it until after this for some reason. I do hate it when they do that though. Like I don't understand why.
I was like, you just showed this before. Why? They need to stop doing that. I don't know if it's them or if it's Destination America, because either way, they need to stop. Stop giving us. But I'm excited to see what's going on with Anderson. I keep calling him Andrews because of Mandrews, and it's confusing. Stop it. But I'm excited to see if he's gonna join forces with Spud and Mandrews, or what's going on with that.
All right. So after that, we got Gunner, and he says we're gonna close the distance. This is backstage again. He says he's gonna close the distance on the World Heavyweight Championship picture. Kenny King approaches and trying to punk him a little bit, and then Low Key comes out of nowhere and starts attacking him. So the BDC attack in the backstage, which is kind of cool because they kind of just go to the ring whenever they want to and attack people. So to see him attack people from another perspective, I guess, is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Tonight. After that, we got a Madison Rayne kind of promo, I guess you could call it. She was just basically saying she's the best knockout ever. We would hear like the boom from Awesome Kong's entrance, and then she'd be like, "That's rude." We hear it again. She'd say, "Okay, Music Man, we get it." Then we hear it again, and she'd say, "I'm having my moment." Then her music would continue, and then she hides behind Earl Hebner there. She said something about being the most decorated champion. What? I don't remember that many title runs in Madison Rayne's history, but okay. I guess so. If you believe it, you can achieve it, or something like that, right? So,
yeah.
Any thoughts on the Gunner backstage thing and the pre-match promo from Madison Rayne?
Well, the Gunner backstage thing is exactly what we said we wanted last week. Instead of them attacking him in the ring, it would have made more sense if they attacked him in the back like they did this. I don't know. But I like that they were doing this tonight. They did this to a couple different guys from Team Angle. So, and what is the deal with Low Key just coming out of nowhere all the time. He just jumps out of nowhere, and I'm like, dude. And then with Madison Rayne, I don't remember how many title reigns she has. Maybe she is up there. I mean, she's been there for a long time, so I mean, she could, but I don't know.
I'm just hoping they don't keep this Team BDC thing going too long, because that's one of my issues with WWE right now. Is all we see every single week: Team Cena, Team Authority. You know, it seems like I've been watching Survivor Series for the past 6 months. You know, I just don't want to. You know,
Exactly.
but next we got Madison Rayne versus Awesome Kong. After that pre-match promo for Madison Rayne, because she's the greatest ever, and she's the greatest ever. But then she gets squashed, so I might have to change my thoughts on that. You know, Kong comes in, she's just working Rayne. You know, she doesn't even care. She's just throwing her around, punching her. You know, whatever. Kong goes for a big splash, but Rayne moves out the way. Rayne takes advantage with some forearms. Kong reverses the missile drop kick by Rayne. You get the implant buster for the win. Awesome Kong, like 3-minute match. This was like a Divas match more so than a knockout match for me. But it's just showing how dominant Awesome Kong is. And I think it's really going to kind of help Taryn Terrell when they finally go at it. As far as, you know, some people don't believe she deserves it. Some people don't believe, you know, she was gone for so long and now she's the champion. So I think it'll help her out a little bit too. Showing that Kong is a dominant knockout and Terrell can be pretty good as well. So any thoughts on the squashing? Maybe almost literal with that the big splash?
Um, Nothing really about this match in general. I'm just kind of confused with the whole storylines with the knockouts, because we had a feud with Taryn Terrell and Havoc, and then Kong comes back, and then we have a feud with Awesome Kong and Havoc, and now are they giving up on that feud? It's so chaotic, almost. I feel like we don't really know what feuds are really going on anymore. Are they keeping the Awesome Kong feud with Havoc? Because they had a kind of a crappy match at Lockdown, so I don't know if they're just giving up on the feud or if they're continuing it.
Where was Havoc? Like I feel like it's different for different, you know, knockouts in these situations. Superstars just in general. Like where was Havoc? It was just weird that she wasn't there tonight to kind of confront Awesome Kong, you know, because she just lost. I mean, a lot of times when you just lose, you don't just like sit at home. Well, all right, I lost. I'm just gonna sit here and watch Awesome Kong squash Madison Rayne. You would come out there, and especially with a squash match like this, you would think, you know, it would have kind of maybe had Havoc come out and beat up Madison Rayne too or something, you know.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Where was Havoc when she, you know, who knows?
I don't know.
But after that, we get a Kurt Angle, Austin Aries backstage segment, and Aries says, Angle says, Aries, you're in my seat. Aries says, I don't see your name on it. Angle says, I heard you tapped to Bobby Roode. Aries says, well, this case is my lottery ticket, and I need 2 arms to cash it in. Aries says, you know, if you win the World Heavyweight Championship, we're going to have a huge bullseye on you. And Aries says, I've always been, I've been World Heavyweight Champion here too, and I will be again, teasing the case, cash in. So, anything there with that? I think a lot of these backstage segments were kind of just setting up the gauntlet with the heavy hitter main event guys, it feels like.
Yeah, I don't think there was any other point to them really. I couldn't see him cashing in tonight. It didn't make sense that if he would cash in tonight. You know, unless the BDC really beat down Angle and Lashley, and he did some sort of like heel turn and cashed in. But I didn't see that happening. You know.
After that, we get a Jeff Hardy update. via Matt Hardy. So Matt Hardy comes out and he says, "It's great to be back in Scotland, Cheapop." He says, "I wish my brother Jeff could share this evening with me. He loves the sport so much that he's taken so many crazy risks. Yes, he has. Um, when he was hurt, he'd make sure that I know he's okay. He said something about you'd see a glimmer in his eye, or he'd give you a thumbs up." He said, but last week there was no thumbs up. Last week talking about the fall from the cage where he hit the steps out. So he said there was nothing but emptiness in his eyes. He says, for the first time I witnessed a broken Jeff Hardy. He says, so congrats, James Storm. You did what no other wrestler has been able to do. James Storm interrupts and he comes out and he says, well, the whole Revolution came out. And I don't know if you noticed this. Sonata had new face paint, it seemed like. And Manic had a completely new mask. It was kind of a Lucha Libre mask, it seemed like. They just changed that. They just changed his mask constantly, I guess. Storm comes out and he says, you are right. Because I did what Edge and Christian couldn't do. What Team 3D couldn't do. He said, I did what he mentioned a lot of other opponents. He says, not even the Undertaker could do. He said, I am responsible for taking away all these pathetic people's heroes. In my storybook, heroes never win. Because you got two options. Raise your index finger in the air and pledge to the revolution. Number two, we can set you up a nice little bed beside your brother in the hospital. Matt Hardy retaliates and he says, well, Jeff does have a nice hospital bed. So Matt comes out and strikes first, but the number game starts to win out. Nice armbar by Manic, setting up the cowbell shot by James Storm, but the Wolves come out to save the day. So I guess obviously we're not going to forget about the Wolves. I guess they're setting up something with the Revolution and the Wolves sometime soon, or maybe a 3-team thing sometime soon. I'm not really sure, especially with Jeff Hardy out now, so to speak. I feel like, we may see Wolves Revolution be the next tag team title match again. But I just thought it was interesting. The promo was interesting. He tried to get, Hardy to join the Revolution, but it was interesting to see Manic have a new mask and Sonata have new face paint. And by new face paint, it was just a different color with black and white this time, where Manic looked like he had a black and white mask. So, any thoughts on the update? I guess.
Really, I like how James Storm did mention Edge and Christian. He mentioned Team 3D and even the Undertaker, which he got a big boo on that one. So he's really building up that heel heat. Again, the Wolves come out to save the Hardys. It seems like they've been doing that a lot. And then they don't get any recognition for it. And I'm like, dude, what? What is the deal? So I don't know. I don't know if you've looked up online. I haven't looked anything up online to see what his condition really is right now. What's going on with that? But I don't know. Maybe, hopefully he'll be back. But maybe we'll see the Wolves and the Revolution. I don't know. I just really don't like the team of James Storm and Abyss. I would rather see like James Storm and one of the other guys. It seems like it would fit more.
Yeah, I think it would fit more if it was James Storm and Sonata, because they were the first two guys. I do think James Storm and Abyss work well together though. They've been there forever, but I feel like for some reason they do have a good in-ring tag team chemistry.
Yeah.
I just wish they would do something else with the other guys though. Like I'm fine with them being a part of the group and kind of being a follower, but I would like to see them maybe pursue something else, like send Manic to try to get the X Division title or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So after that, we have an Austin Aries backstage thing about cashing in. He's like, Yep. Excuse me. You have a timetable to cash in your money in the bank. He's like, half past the monkey's ass and a quarter to his balls, or something along that line, jokingly saying he's not going to tell everyone when when he's going to cash in. That will be he says you ask stupid questions, you get stupid answers. Kenny King approaches. Kenny King's kind of just like the punker. He's just there just to punk you down, and then low key out of nowhere, So Kenny King approaches, and then the BDC, I think it was Joe and low key this time, come back in to beat down Aries. They throw him out of the door. MVP was there too because I remember him saying, "You won't be cashing this in tonight." So he throws the Austin Aries out of the door, and he throws the case out of the door. I think it was cool that Austin Aries didn't come back. That was kind of realistically, it made sense. Hopefully the door was locked. You would think that's why they would throw him out there. But any thoughts on
what didn't make sense to me is that they threw the case out with him. I would have thought they would have stole the case. It seems like it would be heel logic that you steal the case and then I don't know. That was the only thing I thought about it. And other than at least give the man a coat. But then I was like, oh wait, they're in Scotland. Maybe it's not that cold. I was thinking for a second there they were still in New York. But again, it was just another, to build up, I guess, the big match coming up, and then hopefully not to build up BDC versus Team Angle too much, because I don't know. I don't want to see that too much. I wasn't really excited about Team Angle in general, but
the BDC is not going to give that man a coat. I mean, don't get me wrong. They did get new coats this week, but they're not going to give that man a coat. They're just going to let him outside in the cold, let him catch the flu, hypothermia, and frostbite, everything. That's what's going to happen. But next we got the main event of the evening. We got Kurt Angle and Bobby Lashley versus the BDC. At first, we didn't know who the members of the BDC would be to come out, and it was MVP and Samoa Joe that were the members who came out. Is Low Key still the champion? I never see him with the belt anymore for some reason. He's still the champion, right? I'm not tripping.
The X Division champion?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know.
You just never see him with the belt, and it's weird. And they never defend the belt, so it's even weirder.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? At least with the Revolution, you see the belts.
Maybe they're in the middle of getting a new belt because they realize that the belt that they have now is dumb, and they want to bring the old one back.
Maybe that might be the issue there, but we got.
It reminds me too much of the NXT Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't they have the belt before NXT had their belt? Technically.
Yeah, but WWE.
What? Wait. What's your argument here? They're copying WWE, or it just is too much like WWE?
WWE has the money. They have the lawyers. Except they couldn't beat the World Wildlife Fund, but that's okay. And WWE.
All right, so we got the WWE rules on what he's basically trying to tell us here. But we got a tag team match, and we got Angle and Lashley. They're looking to corner Joe early. Joe comes back with some strikes. You get the leapfrog by Lashley into a clothesline. MVP with the distraction. This gets Lashley isolated. He thought Lashley was taking advantage, but MVP was not having that. MVP with a running dropkick for a near fall. Lashley is cornered again. Joe looking for the corner power slam, little catching slam that he does, but Lashley, reverses that into a neck breaker. Angle comes in. We get Germans for everyone. you know, as Kurt Angle does. We get an angle slam on Samoa Joe for a near fall. MVP is tagged back in, and we get strong knees by MVP. He throws Angle into the ring post. Then we get a roll up for a near fall. Clothesline by MVP for a near fall after that. Angle with the middle rope drop kick. Shout out to Angle for showing some athleticism from the middle rope. Lashley, the aggressive hot tag, hits a corner spear, power slam combo, spine buster for a near fall. I think it was I'm not sure who that was on at that time. I think it may have been MVP. Angle with the ankle lock, although he wasn't the legal man, Lashley was setting up the spear, but he gets rolled up by MVP for the win. And Lashley and Angle in the show arguing. So Team BDC, I guess, or the BDC wins this match here via roll up. But you know, I guess it just kind of builds dissension on the with Angle and Lashley. So, any thoughts on the main event? Thought it was pretty good for a tag team match.
Yeah, it was a good match. One thing I liked was MVP had a Manchester United ring gear on. If any of you don't know, it's a football / soccer team from Manchester, England, which kind of fit considering they were in Glasgow, Scotland. I think they're rivals. So kind of builds up that. First of all, it builds up the heel heat, and it also shows that he knows, you know, he's been around the world. He knows, you know, which places, how to get heel heat here, how to get heel heat there, you know, which is cool. But as far as the match, it was a good match. Wasn't anything I was really excited for. I kind of knew what was going to go on. I kind of knew Lashley and Angle were going to have an issue. It was just kind of, you could tell what was going to happen. But I'm just excited to see what's going on next week more so. Because it feels like there's more next week happening than there is really this week. This show kind of, it was okay, but it didn't, they're obviously getting it pumped for next week, you know.
I love that they have a like international fan base besides just those in America. I think that's really cool. I love it when they go to like England, even though I can't be there. You know, I love it. That I kind of like to go to one of those shows because like the England fans really are drawn to TNA, which is a good thing. It's good to. It seems like they kind of have maybe a better following there than they do here at times. So, but Casey, go ahead and give your closing remarks.
Well, as always, follow me on Twitter. It's right there. And then follow the podcast on Twitter as well. We're gonna try to be more active on there. I don't know if DJ has been able to link the videos to that account yet, but that'll be easier to just be able to link the videos to the account. That way, you know, we can just put them on there. And do updates and stuff if we have any updates, which we haven't had many. We haven't done any other videos recently, like we had been in the past, but hopefully we'll be doing more special videos on the network or whatever pops up. I just feel like there hasn't really been anything that's really popped up that we wanted to really do a video on besides the reviews on the shows. But like I said, follow us there. Let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, man. Let us know what, you know, because we try to listen as best as we can, or at least read, because, you know, can't literally listen to text. But, you know, we do read it. I apologize for my voice tonight because it is, or today, I guess. I don't even know what time it is. I've been so sick today, but I apologize for, you know, my voice being a little weird. Hopefully the sickness will be gone by soon. So that's it. That's what I'm looking for. But feel free to follow me on Twitter. It is there. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. If you want more of the content that we put out. If you guys enjoyed, um, everybody go tweet Justin at the True JSD. I think it's a Twitter thing. Can't remember off the top of my head, but tweet him and be like, "Where were you at?" But he had prior obligations, so it makes sense. But still tweet him and be like, "Where were you at?" So see you guys later. I'll see you guys.